Ever since I made the video predicting that Harris would be the nominee for the Democratic Party, many have said that it is not possible for her to become our next president. Well, to those who said that, here's where you're wrong. First and foremost, Harris has become the leading Democrat in the odds to become the next president, now leading Biden on almost every political betting website. With that in mind, let's outline each and every way that Harris can become the next president of the United States. So first and foremost, the most obvious thing to consider is, according to the Constitution, can Harris actually become the next president? Well, there are 3 constitutional requirements to become the president. The first is to be a natural-born citizen of the United States, and Harris, being born in the state of California, qualifies for this. Secondly, being at least 35 years old, and Harris is 59. And thirdly, having been a resident of the United States for 14 years, and Harris has been a resident for her whole life, being 59 years. So Harris can become the president of the United States according to the Constitution. However, some wonder, can she actually become president in this next election cycle? And that's what I'm primarily going to analyze. But we've covered that constitutionally, she can become the president. Well, there's another constitutional article that says that she can actually become president sooner than we think. And this is the 25th Amendment, Section 4, that says that if most people in Congress and the executive branch, so the cabinet, say that Biden isn't fit to serve, then Harris can actually become the acting president of the United States. So, with that being said, maybe they view that Biden's mental acuity isn't good enough for him to be president, and therefore they must put Harris in charge. Usually, this is only used if, let's say, a president needs to take a break for a little bit, has a surgery, etc., and therefore cannot act as president. But here it is outlining that if a president isn't seen as being capable to serve in the office, so for example if a president is senile, then they can be replaced. While I don't think Section 4 will be used, this is a possible scenario for Kamala Harris to assume the presidency. However, there are more likely scenarios for her to become the president. One of them is due to Biden's old age. If, let's say, he resigns to make Kamala Harris the president, or what we don't want to happen actually happens, and Biden, due to his old age, cannot serve as president any longer. And in those 2 scenarios, since Harris is the vice president, she would assume the presidency. So the obvious aside, let's go to some more interesting ways that she can actually become the president. So ever since the debate, there has been speculation of a speedy convention where the people can actually decide if Biden or Harris or someone else will be nominated in the Democratic ticket to run against Trump. Then Harris can actually win and become the next president. And this would be if she's nominated, and then she has to beat Donald Trump in the general election. However, Biden does have to step down or request a speedy convention for it to actually occur. So I think this is a possible scenario since Biden is likely going to step down or request a convention to see a litmus test, if you will, if he should actually be the next president. And if he wins this convention or primary, etc., then people will have more confidence in him, which helps him out, which is why I think that he might actually want this in the future. And there's another scenario where this can happen. If any Democrat, Biden, Harris, etc., runs for the presidency and ties with Trump, then that election goes to Congress, and Congress will then decide who will become the president of the United States. So Congress can actually decide for Harris to become the president of the United States. And this is particularly applicable if Harris were to run third party. And also faithless electors do exist. So the faithless electors, if they deem Biden not fit to serve, if Biden actually wins the election, etc., then they can actually go faithless and vote for Harris. And lastly, the most likely scenario is if Harris is nominated by convention or otherwise and does in fact beat Donald Trump. However, I don't think this will happen since Harris is losing to Donald Trump in many major polls. So there we have it. Harris can become president of the United States in many different scenarios. But I think the most likely way she can become president is through the 25th Amendment, particularly if Biden wins another term. But regardless, Harris can become president as soon as 2024 and can be elected president as soon as 2024 through a multitude of ways. So thank you for watching, and make sure to watch some of my other videos if you want to learn what would actually happen if Harris wins the nomination. Thank you.